Well, hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for your patience here. We're used to having a team, and when we don't have a team, we're coming to you from our home studio, we're calling it. Everybody here at Whiz Bang Retail Training is working remote. So anyway, welcome to the very first episode of the Coronavirus and the Independent Retailer Podcast. I just want to say, Susan and I and everybody on the team, we're so proud of you. You are so awesome. Everything is happening so quickly, and on our Whiz Bang Retailers page, in the emails that we're getting from members of the different groups that we lead, communities that we lead, the outpouring of support for each other and the sharing of ideas, the attitude of we're in this together, we can make it through this together, has just been great to see. Things are changing so quickly. We're here in Michigan, and just last night, Governor Whitmer came on and said that bars and restaurants are now closed. This has happened in Illinois and Ohio and in many, many other states around the country. As you know, Spain, Italy, France are all sort of on lockdown. And this may come to us here in the United States and to all of our friends in Canada. That's what it is. We can't control what it is, but what we can control is how we react to what it is. And that's why 5 days a week, Susan and I are going to come to you and share the best ideas that we're hearing. Going to share with you stories of success, stories of hope. We're going to share with you, hopefully, the inspiration you need to keep going. This would normally be time for the NCAA basketball tournaments, and they've been canceled. Everything's canceled, right? Everything is canceled. But years and years ago, the late, great Jim Valvano had a great quote about the NCAA tournament, and it was this: survive and move on. In order to make it to the championship, in order to become a champion, you had to win that game. And that is what this podcast is about. That is what our Tuesday afternoon community forums are about. This is what Whiz Bang Retailers is all about. It's about you and you surviving and moving on. Because here's what I know. This is going to end, and when it ends, you will be smarter, you will be stronger, you will be wiser, you will be better. How do I know that? I know that because I started my business in the middle of a recession. I have lived through, as an entrepreneur, 3, maybe 4 recessions, 2011. I have been through this, and I know what it's like. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about moving on. It's all about one day at a time. Things change, you change, things happen, you adapt. So today what we're going to talk about is I'm going to sort of do a replay yesterday on Whiz Bang Retailers. And by the way, if you're listening to this as a podcast and you are not a member of our Facebook community, Whiz Bang Retailers, I would encourage you to go there. The outpouring of support is just, I am so proud of that group and the people in this group. But I made a video yesterday, and it was incredibly well received, and I thought I would repeat it today because this is indeed on a different format. And really the question that everybody is asking as things change so quickly is, should I close down, not close my store permanently, but should I close temporarily or shouldn't I? Now, for some people in Spain, France, Italy, maybe coming here to the United States, mandatory close downs of all non-essential stores is going to be a reality. But here's the thing. Just because you can't open your store doesn't mean that you can't do business. Let me say that again. Your doors don't have to be open to do business. You just have to know how to do business as a brick and mortar store in the times when you're not allowed to stay open. So, I'm looking at my notes here, excuse me. So here's the basic strategy. So let's say you have to close, or you choose to close. No, the first thing I wanted to say, I'm sorry, let me back up here. First thing I want to say is be a good human being. Be part of your community. This is a nasty thing. This is an awful thing. And everything that we can do as independent retailers to slow down the spread of the coronavirus, this is something that we should do. But you don't have to close. You don't have to stop doing business. What we have to do is we have to be smart and we have to adapt. But we also have to be good human beings. We also have to be good parts and good members of our community. So let's talk about a couple of things. What is a good strategy if you have to close your store, but you need to do business because your family depends on the income from your store, or you need to do business, or you want to do business because you employ people and you wouldn't be able to pay them if you close down? Well, the strategy is engage, collect, and deliver. Let me say it again. Engage, collect, and deliver. So first of all, let's talk about engagement. What do I mean and what are we talking about here? I am talking about using social media or another live platform like live stream to engage your customers. Here in Michigan and in many, many, many states, schools have been closed. Parents are home with their children, or people are working from home, and they're looking for an outlet. They're looking for entertainment. They're looking for distraction. They're looking for information. They're looking for support. You now have a chance to do this, right? Engage. So if you're a toy store, can you do a Facebook Live every hour on the hour and feature a different game or puzzle? You know, I had a kite and toy store for 19 years, and we had a game table. And at that game table, people would walk in. If we'd see somebody still looking at a game, we'd say, "Let us teach you how." And that's what we would do. We would teach people how to play. Could you do that? I'm going to talk about Maureen Doran in just a moment, because Maureen created a wonderful, wonderful video on her strategy of clienteling. But before we started that interview, oh, my dog's coughing. Susan's coughing.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, I thought that was Tucker. So by the way, we're doing this from our home studio, so our dog always wants to go in and out. So there might be distractions in this whole process. We're new at this. But Maureen, so before we started the interview, Maureen and I were talking about this whole idea of engagement. Maureen's is in high-end luxury women's clothing. Well, guess what? If her customers, her clients, are stuck at home, the question I asked Maureen and the question you and your team need to ask yourselves is, what do they want to know? Can you do this is what I was asking Maureen, could you do a fashion show? You know, a lot of women, when they shop in Maureen's store, they're busy career women. They come in, they don't have a lot of time to look around. Could you do a tour of the store and really, really show the goods in a deeper way that her clients don't normally get to see her goods? Could she teach classes on how to dress, how to mix and match? Could she have a sort of a panel, a group discussion with her top stylists about the trends for the spring? Because this is going to end. People are going to want to look good in the spring. So the question to ask yourself is, what do they want to know? One of the ways you get to that answer is by asking yourself, what do people really buy from me? In Maureen's case, she's not selling clothing. She is selling a feeling that people get when they buy that clothing, right? If you are in the toy and game business, what are people really buying? In the case of this, if you want to sell toys and games for children, you are you're helping your customers feel smart and successful about successfully managing their children being home 4 days at a time, keeping them from being bored. So ask yourself, where is that deeper emotional piece? And when you get to that deeper emotional piece, all of a sudden the content for your live events starts to fall into place. Cookware store, oh my. How to cook with pantry items. How to, how to stretch a budget. I don't know. You're smart people. One of the things that I'm going to keep coming back to in this podcast, which, by the way, I hope is the shortest lived podcast in the history of podcasting, is you're an entrepreneur. We're entrepreneurs. We figure shit out. Figure this out. But the operative part of this strategy is engagement. And the second part of the engagement piece is doubling down. If you're on for 2 hours and you have a big crowd, by golly, tomorrow do 3 hours. By golly, 4 hours. I could actually see where many of you will be on live from the minute you open till the minute you close. Basically, you are creating a parallel store. You become the QVC of your industry in your trade area, or even beyond your trade area. QVC is 24-hour shopping, baby. This becomes your opportunity to engage. Normally, as a brick and mortar store, you're trying to drive people into your store. Now, with this engagement strategy, now you're going out to them. Engagement, lots of engagement. Be fun, be interesting, be of service. This is so important. Be of service. Help your clients out. Help your customers out. Think for them. Give them solutions. This is so important. And I know that you're going to be so good at this. One quick side note before we move on. One of the things that I know from going through many of these economic disruptions is that when this is over, and this will be over, you will take lots of these strategies that you have learned, that you have developed in reaction to the problem, and they will become part of the way that you do business in the future. That's a beautiful thing. You may not realize it right now when you're stressing out in the middle of it, but believe me, you're learning a lot of valuable lessons. Talked about it earlier in the show. You're learning a lot of lessons. So, next thing. So we have engagement. The second part of it is collection, because you're not doing this for entertainment. You're doing this to make money. Entertainment is the vehicle that you use to get the money. We need to keep generating cash flow, don't we? So what I'm saying, when you look at QVC, there is always a call to action, isn't there? By the way, I would encourage you to start watching QVC. I'm going to start watching QVC so I can serve you better. Susan, we're going to start watching QVC. We're going to see how they do that. But they're always asking for the sale, right? So you want to ask for the sale. Going back to the game, so if I am teaching my audience how to play a game, let's say Quarto, and when I'm done teaching the game, I don't say, now let me teach you abalone. Now I say, hey, and I've got 6 of these in stock right now. If you want one, let me know. Now, you can use comments sold. They can put in Facebook or in chat if you're using live stream. I'll take one. But what I really like even more is say, call us. We'll take your credit card number. Now, why am I saying call us? Because when they call you, you get an opportunity to add on. If all they do is give you their credit card number, there's no conversation, there's no opportunity to dig deeper. If I am a mother staying at home and I've got 4 kids, I'm buying 1 Quarto game, you can bet your bottom dollar I want more suggestions. I want more games. I want puzzles. I want educational toys. I want mind teasers. I want all kinds of stuff. And when they call, you get an opportunity to really hear what your customers want and, of course, add on. Be of service. So collection is the third part. And then the final part is delivery. People are nervous. They're afraid. They're anxious. They don't want to spread it. They don't want to get it. And so delivery could be that you send it out, you ship it. If it's not close, it could also be that you say, look, I understand that people don't want to interact. Here's the deal. You bought those things. Just drive by the store. People are going to want to get out of their houses, by the way. Drive by the store. When you get to us, when you get to the store, just text this number, pop your trunk, and we'll drop it in for you, right? So no human interaction at all. No opportunity to really, there's gloves and yada, yada, yada. But really, you're dramatically minimizing the opportunity to either spread the disease or catch the virus, or catch the virus. So you can do that. You could also say something along the lines of, look, if you're within 5 miles, I'm happy to drop it off on my way home. Be of service. So do you see how this strategy of engage, collect, and deliver, all of a sudden you don't need to be open. You don't need to have your doors open, but you need to be open. I misstood the statement. You don't need to have your doors open, but you need to be open. Now, you can also have your doors open. I've seen several people on whiz-bang retailers talk about making appointments, only letting a certain number of people in the store at a time. With the promise of sanitizing the store in between. You could do something like that. But the final thing I want to share, how are we doing on time, honey?
You're doing fine, honey.
I'm doing fine?
Yeah,
okay.
You're doing fine. You're a little bit over, but you're okay.
I'm a little bit over?
Yeah.
So
everybody's loving it.
Okay.
Everybody's loving it.
I have a tendency to go on. When we decided to do this, everybody was like, no more than 10 minutes. And
15 minutes.
And
we
then
gave
we were
you 15.
15. What am I
we
at
gave
right
you
now?
more than 15. It's hard to keep a good man down.
Something like that. Okay. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to go to Staples and we're going to buy a timer so I have it there, or I'll rehearse a little more. But yes, the final thing that I wanted to share is this clienteling strategy that Maureen Doran, she owns 3 high-end women's clothing stores in the Philadelphia area. They're called, the name of her stores are Skirt. And I did an interview with Maureen where she generously and articulately shared this strategy with all of you. It is posted on the Whiz-Bang Retailers page, and I would encourage you to watch that. If you're serious about making it through this in one piece, you really need to watch that video. But the essence of the clienteling program is, it's reactivation. It's engagement. It's engagement in a one-on-one setting. So you go into your point of sale system, you look and you find your best customers, and you start calling, you start texting, you start emailing. By the way, a great resource in this whole thing is BombBomb. BombBomb is a service that allows you to send video emails. BombBomb FaceTime is a great way for you to engage your customers. They're at home, you're in the store, you're talking, you're showing, you're asking, you're going through the 6 steps of the perfect purchase. But, it's another way to engage your customers. So even though your doors may be closed, you are open for business. So that's it. Engagement, collection, delivery. That is the essence. I really, really, really want you to recognize that you have the ability to create, to generate your business. So even though your doors may not be open, even if you choose to close, even if you are mandated to close, You can still do business. You've got this. You are smart. You are good. You've got this. Figure shit out. All right. So we're going to do this every day, every weekday. I'm going to try to make them 15 minutes from now on. We're going to call this not charter.
The initial.
The initial, this is the introduction. It's like a pilot, right? The pilots are always a little longer than the show. We're going to try to keep them to 15 minutes every day. But I would encourage you to come back here every day at 9:30. We are also going to share this as a podcast. More on that later. But so if you live in Hawaii, saying you don't want to get up in the middle of the night to watch this, that's fine. You can watch it here on Facebook, or it will also be available on all of the major podcast platforms. So we would love to help you in any way we can. So please, my email address is bob.negen, Negen, BOBNEGEN, backwards and forwards the same way, at whizbangtraining.com. If you have any topics you would like to see covered on this podcast or on our Tuesday community forum, by all means, drop me a note. I'm happy to see where it all fits in.